in my mind, the single greatest cover, and I think you agree, based on what I read in the book, and you devote some time to John Lennon, who was the greatest gift this planet has ever received, in my opinion. But this cover that Annie Leibovitz shot with John and Yoko kind of embracing one another on the cover.
He was naked, embracing Yoko, who was in her clothes. They were lying on a bed. The embrace was like the fetal position,
Yes.
you know, of him holding on to her like mom or mother or something. And it, in the situation in which it was published and the picture was taken, his assassination, it looked like almost as if it was a death mask. It was somebody called the Pieta of our times. And it was so stunning and so strong about their relationship and about regressing to the womb, you know, of going back to where you came from and Mother Earth and just all these kind of symbolic, wonderful themes. That was powerful beyond belief because of that moment.
Did Annie Leibovitz say to you, here is the concept, or was it John and Yoko's concept?
It was John and Yoko's concept. So I said, fine, you know, let's do that. Let's honor them. Days later, it, you know, became obvious that there was no other cover that you could possibly have in a situation.
Right.
This was the first time we put out an issue of the magazine without any headlines on a cover. Nothing needed to be said as to what this was or what had happened here. And it was a beauty. It's got such power, though. It's hard to look at. Just in a way, sometimes it's hard for me to listen to Double Fantasy because it recalls those days so well.
Yoko handed you John's bloody glasses
Yeah.
right after he was assassinated.
Yeah, about a week later.
In other words, she had saved the glasses that had, after his assassination.
Yeah.
She was grieving, I assume, and then handed them to you, and you had them in your hands.
Yeah, which, wow, it was spooky. Spooky. I mean,
What
it's
do
a
you
physical
do? What do you say? What do you do, and what do you say?
I think you get a real inward moment of the power of that object and what it must mean. And it kind of goes all through you of the consequence of the thing that the man's disappeared. He's gone. No more of what this must mean to this woman sitting next to me, his wife, the family, the world, the loss. It was heavy.
Yeah. I mean, you really had a real friendship with him. I mean, wasn't that the first cover of Rolling Stone?
The first,
with John Lennon from the movie How I Won the War.
That cover was just by accident. We had no money, and so I was just looking through the free movie stills. There was that one, and the fortuitous choice. I mean, John himself in a movie and a political movie. And it was kind of the three things we came to specialize in a lot.
I have such worship of John, and the fact that I'll never meet him, so I can only imagine. You really had access to him as a person, personal way. You played for John Lennon. Let It Be, the movie. He started to cry, right? Because it meant to him like, oh my God, I forgot how great the Beatles were, and we did break up. It broke his heart, right?
From what I could see there, I mean, he and Jane and me and Yoko went into his empty theater and watched it all together. He had said he'd never seen it before, and we watched this film, and it's a story of the Beatles breaking up. The version that has not been, that came out originally, and that's the way it looked to me. Couldn't be more obvious than fighting and all that stuff. And we got to the theater, and we all threw our arms around each other and cried because it was the end of the Beatles. But also he was at that time still in therapy, so he would cry at everything, But
what made you think to show him the movie? I mean,
it was his idea.
Oh, it was his.
We were just hanging around. We had nothing to do, particularly on a Friday. He said, "I haven't seen Let It Be. Let's go see that."
Well, you must have been shocked too, like that. Hey, you'd never
What
seen
a
it.
moment.
Oh my God.